I finally have an update about my business. If you guys didn't know, I actually started a business a few months ago, and some of y'all have called me out on Instagram saying that I haven't updated it, you guys, and I said I was going to, but that is because Miss Rona decided to slow the whole process down. So I finally have an update for you guys literally 6 months later, which I was just as annoyed as you. So keep on watching if you're interested in seeing how I started my business, and I will be taking you along on the whole journey, so make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe and turn on your notifications so you can see whenever I do give you updates. But let's get into the initial starting of the business process. So before you start your business, you're going to want to choose what kind of business entity you want to be. Realistically, for me, there was 2 choices, and realistically for a lot of people, there's 2 choices. You can either be a sole proprietor or you can be a limited liability company or LLC. So I wrote in a little chart of the basics for each one, but I definitely recommend looking up different YouTube videos and Google is searching what would be best for you, because that's what I did, especially if you're brand new and don't really know what you're doing. So, basic rundown of sole proprietorship. If you have a low-risk business, or you don't need insurance, or maybe you have a little less money to play around with, sole proprietor is definitely the best way to go. Think of someone on Etsy. Technically, they own their own businesses, they're their own bosses, however, they didn't need to fill out any formal paperwork to become a little business and sell things to you through Etsy. So, super easy to do, you don't need a lot of money to start it, and you don't have to pay a bunch of taxes. You're basically just taxed on your personal income and you're just self-employed. But if you want a little bit more protection, say you have a higher risk business or you need some insurance or you have a little bit more money to play around with, a LLC is a good choice for you. I chose the LLC route because I wanted to have that separation between me and my business. For example, if someone tries to come for me and my bag, they can only come for the company's bag. They can't come for my personal bag. You feel me? If you're a sole proprietor and someone's mad at you and they try to take your coin away from you, they can come for your house, your dog, your car, whatever. Here, they can only come for the assets that my business has. They can't come for my personal assets. However, in order to start an LLC, you do have to file quite a bit of paperwork with the state that you live in, and you will need a little bit more coin because you will have to pay fees for that paperwork, as well as an annual $800 tax, whether you make money or not. So, things to think about for LLC versus sole proprietor, but I chose the LLC route just because I did want that extra little bit of protection, and if my company does grow, I can also choose to incorporate, which means I can get taxed as a corporation instead of an individual, because technically you're still taxed as an individual for an LLC, but you just have a little bit more protection than this one. But if my business does grow, I can choose to incorporate and be taxed as a corporation instead. So, after I picked what kind of business entity I wanted to be, which was an LLC, I proceeded to go to Google University and see what paperwork I needed to fill out to be an official business. Before I get into the actual steps that I took to file to be an LLC, I did want to let you guys know that I do live in the state of California, so if you don't live in California, I definitely recommend Google searching or watching some YouTube videos on how to file to be an LLC in your state, just because it might be a little bit different. But here in California, these are the steps that I took in order to become a legitimate LLC. So the first thing that I did was go to sos.ca.gov. This is going to be the Secretary of State for California's website. There you're going to find all the resources that you need to be an LLC, corporation, whatever. It's all there. But before you file any paperwork, what you're going to want to do is make sure that your business name that you want to name your business does not match up with any other business that already exists in the state of California. Otherwise, you're going to get rejected when you try to file for an LLC. So you can do that by searching different business names in the name reservations link on the website. You literally just click the link, it takes you to where you need to go to search up the different businesses in California, and it tells you what you can name your business, what the limitations are, whatever. There should be a little search bar. Literally type in the name that you want to name your business and see if it matches up with anything else. If it does, you gotta rethink the name. If it doesn't, good to go. Go to the next step. The next step, after you make sure that your name doesn't match any other business's name in California, is you want to file to become an LLC. There's literally a little link that says LLC formation. Click on that, and it's going to take you to the application. The application's like $70, and if you want a copy, I think it's an extra like $12, something like that. After you file your LLC application with all the info, it's going to take a couple of days for them to either say you're good to go, or you got to fix XYZ. After you get approved, you're going to want to fill out the LLC Statement of Information. This just gives them all of the info that they need that is available to the public, so keep that in mind. It's all available to the public. It has to be. And you're going to want to file that within the window that they give you. They give you all this information in email, so do not worry, do not despair. After you do those literal 3 things, you are good to go. If you're approved, then you're an official LLC for the state of California. After I did finish those 3 steps, I did take one extra step that not every LLC needs, but it is a good thing to have on hand, which is I filed for a business EIN. A business EIN is pretty much like a social security number, but for your business. And like I said before, when it comes to LLCs, you have to keep your personal finances and your business finances separate. A business EIN allows you to open a business account, for starters. So if you go to a bank, they're going to ask you for an EIN if you want to start a bank account under your business name. So that's one good thing about it. The second good thing about having a business EIN is if you do have a business that requires you to buy things in bulk, whether it's like t-shirts, pants, whatever, clothing, cups, I don't know, whatever you're trying to sell, if you need to buy it in bulk, you are able to buy things in wholesale prices if you do have an EIN. Manufacturers or suppliers will not sell you wholesale items unless you have a business EIN. Otherwise, you will have to pay the sales tax on them. The business EIN allows you to buy things in bulk without paying sales tax. So that is the one other thing that I did file for before officially kicking off the rest of the process to start my business. Now, in order to file for a business EIN, you do have to go to the IRS's website, and you're going to basically put in all of your business's information that you got in the paperwork from the Secretary of State when you file to be an LLC. And you can do this online, and you usually get a business EIN in literally instantly. But because I have a business name that is very similar, but not the same, obviously, very similar to another business in the state of California, I was not allowed to file online because the computer could not separate the two. So I had to file mine by hand so an actual person could look at the LLC and make sure that it was not the same business as the other business. So that's why mine took a little bit longer, because I had to wait for it to get faxed over to the IRS, and it had to sit in a stack until the actual person got to my application, because they were reviewing each of them by hand, and then I had to wait for it to come in the mail. So that took quite some time, especially because of the current global situation. But that's basically how I started my business. I now am an official LLC with a business EIN, and I will be taking you guys along the rest of the journey, and there's some exciting updates to come. I'm actually in the works of talking to some people to do some cool stuff for my business, so stay tuned for the rest of this series while I'll be giving you progressive updates on how I kicked off my business. But hopefully you guys found this video informative. If you have any questions, please leave them down below, and give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more videos in this little series. But I'll see you guys next time. Bye!